I bring my product here.
Whoa.
So that we can test it out later on. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. I am Ted from Accathon. So we are building outdoor tech products. But before we actually jump into introducing our company and the product, I would like to share two trends happening in the outdoor industry. First, after the COVID, people are transferring from backpacking to camping. You can have ice cream, outdoor movie, air condition, or heater, make your life much more easier than before. And also, we have seen technology are making the outdoor more accessible. We have e-bikes, e-scooters, portable power stations. So with the penetration rate increasing, we have more EVs and power stations provide electricities. And also, we have seen many outdoor gears are too generic. They are similar. So we want to be the challenger to be different. We actually introduce technology products and bring them into the outdoor industry. I'm truly respectful for companies like DJI, Aftershocks, Segways, and GoPros. They start from a niche market, but they provide true customer values. And with the growing market demands, they become the dominance. We start our journey with a utility wagon. So it's a very common tool all over the places. However, after a century of existence, there are still customer pinpoints that haven't been solved. For example, when you are pulling heavy stuff up hills, it will be physically challenging. If you are pulling it downhill, it will accelerate due to gravities and make your experience uncontrollable. But similar to e-bikes, these problems can be solved by an algorithm and a powertrain system. So ladies and gentlemen, in front of you, you see the world's first electric utility wagon, and we name it Accathon E-Wagon Ultra. It has a smart algorithm where it follows your movements with zero learning curve, and also provides you 200 pounds of power assistance, even with 15 degrees of inclines. Of course, all kinds of safety features. We actually introduced the products through crowdfunding on Kickstarter platform. By the end of 2022, we raised over 200,000 USD. And we massively produced the products by the end of last year. So this year is our go-to-market year. The first one is a professional-grade e-wagon. So we mainly targeting the sport coach, the outdoor photographers, some leisure activities as well. But in order to bring this alive, we actually heavily built a R&D platform that actually involve a lot of stuff. For example, we have the algorithm, not just a manual control. We have a platform that we try to make all the components modularized, easy for replacements. The motor and the tires, because some of the features are actually contradicting with one another. The framework, we already achieved IP6 waterproof ratings, battery packs, testing standards, and even the supply chains. So we actually spent 2 years for R&D and invested in over $3 million to bring this alive. So as of the moment, we are not just building a single product. We already have a clear roadmap for future development. The first one is already here. But the second one that we are building is more for on consumer levels. So it's focusing on everyday use, more lightweight, more affordable. Similar to Tesla's Model 3 and Model Y, we believe it will explode the markets. And also, we have received some contracts to build a military levels because they love the R&D platform and try to say, hey, if we have a disaster relief or just for hunting, are you able to develop a e-wagon that can work under extreme condition and bring over like 1,000 pounds of load? I say, of course, it can be. But that's not the end. That's not the end. One more thing is we start from the journey from wagon, but also cars, trailers, and eventually EVs. I think that's the whole product map that we can think of. Either if you are a load-bearing product and it's manual control, we are able to modularize and make it even smarter. Thank you, everyone. We are Accathon, outdoor artisan.
Thank you so much, Ted. Harry, why don't we go with you? One question, and then we're going to go to the valuation. Did you mention how much you raised in the past?
We have raised about 3 million. Yeah,
3 million US.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, I have two questions. First of all, obviously a lot of us are users, occasionally, but I don't know how big this market is. Just tell us how big this market is. This is the first question. And the broader question is, why would you choose to start with this product? Why not just start with trailers, RVs, something even more higher, purchasing price, much more sexier products? Why choose this? Okay.
Good questions. Actually, a lot of investors ask these questions. So to answer your first question, we estimated the global market size of e-wagon, so in this format, it's about 2 billion. So it's a niche market. Think about that. We have 10 million conventional wagons selling in the US each year, right? And then the penetration rate, I would say, is about 20%. So e-bike is actually already over 30% right now. And then we have something like e-scooters, maybe like around 10%. So I would say 20% for e-wagon is a good estimate because every single household needs one. It's a tool. So if you multiply that by the $500 average price, it will give you a $1 billion market in US alone. But we do have Canada, Australia, the European market, and even the Japan. Camping is so popular in Japan. So that answers your first question. It's 2 billion market size. The second question, why do we start from e-wagon instead of RV or the trailers? I think there's a level of diffusion, or we call that, it's called the technology product fits. So right now, I would say I'm incapable of building an RV alone. It's very hard, and it needs heavy investment. But if we start from a niche market, the big giants wouldn't come in. And later on, once we have the core competence, we have the team, we have the brand, and then we move on to carts. Later on, we move to trailers. And trailer is actually a form of camper. So trailer and RV, it's kind of blurring, So that gives us a chance to actually grow from small to big. Think of segways. If going back to 10 years later, would you invest in a tool that will cost you 1,000 yuan? Probably not. But right now, they have all the core competence. They have the e-scooters, the e-bike, and we call that 小电驴, I don't know, motorcycle, yeah, electric motorcycle. So there's a clear path of how a small company can become a giant later on. I hope that answers your questions.
Great. Excellent. Judges, let's go to that. You guys can write it. Did you think of the number? Don't say it yet. Did you think of the number?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So I'll give the judges, I see some numbers here, so I get a preview. Tell us, what is your evaluation if you're going to raise your next round?
Okay, so we are actually going to run a new series of funding in the second half of this year. So we are targeting at 30 million USD.
30 million USD. Okay, this is going to be an interesting one. Let's start with Jung-hee. 7. Michael, 50. Thomas, 20. 15. Not too off. Jung-hee, let's talk about you. Why that?
Yeah, the problem is that I believe that the market is relatively small, but there are so many competitors. They can make a similar device, so that's why.
And I want to hear from Michael as well. Michael and Thomas, where did you come up with those valuations?
Yeah, I personally do invest a lot of hardwares, and I'm a big fan of outdoor. I think this can be something interesting if you look back to Sagamore. I'm talking about like dirtbags, and you probably talk about that. And I think this can be potentially a good market product as well. So that's why I give it a little bit higher valuation.
Okay,
thanks.
Thomas?
Yeah, no, it's funny because I look at this. I just had a personal experience where I needed something to pull, and I was just looking at them like, oh, this is very interesting. Yeah, no, I think if I had a better understanding of the potential market sizing, that valuation could go up. But based on what I heard just today, I actually like the fact that you're very focused. I agree with your strategy is to focus on a product that may be overlooked. But I actually think it's almost like I think it's like a blue ocean product because people haven't traditionally thought that there's innovation in this space.
Exactly.
So I kind of like it. I like that, and maybe it's not. I like also Harry's comment. Maybe it's not as big, but I think if you can go deep and build out a potential brand around that, you could then extend it into other kind of product lines. But you know, I'd really like to test that. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We use that in the U.S. to ship kits.
Yeah.
You know, we put all the kits in
Costco.
And if you do that, and then that'll be great.
Yeah. Multi-use now, right?
Yeah,
you have another
multi-use,
use case.
Everyday use case.
Okay, guys, the moment we've been waiting for. Let's go to the paddles. Continue the conversation, not continue the conversation. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Split.
Thank you.
Split decision. Thank you so much, Ted, for your presentation. That was great.